What's going on, everybody? This is Drew Peters, aka the Vanilla Gorilla with Suppz.com. Today we're going to be talking about a quick troubleshooting, should you say, episode about, well, more so a selection episode. How to pick a pre-workout that's good for you. There's every company on the market today that is selling a pre-workout supplement. So how do you pick? All of them promise to provide energy, pumps, focus, strength, power beyond your wildest dreams to have the best workout of your life. But how do you separate what is factual and functional versus just a bunch of silly marketing jargon? So we're going to take a quick dive into this today. This could be a very deep anatomy lesson. It could be a very deep mechanism lesson, but we're going to stick with some very basic things. The first question, so I was, hey man, what do you recommend for a pre-workout? I start with these simple things. I first ask, what have you pre-workouts have you used before? Which ones did you like? And what exactly do you want to get out of this pre-workout? And they say, of course I want pre-workout. Well, that's not specific. What I recommend by this is if you, for example, list some pre-workouts, and if I know a lot of them. So if you know a lot of different pre-workouts and you ask them to list what they've tried, it can give you an idea of what they've already used, what they like, what they are looking for. But more specifically, like, hey, okay, how about this? Are you looking for something for a lot of like high-power stims and focus? Are you looking for more something in terms of performance, such as like training endurance and power output? Are you looking for something that's got a nasty pump? And obviously everybody wants to say all of the above, but there's a lot of pre-workouts that have pros and cons of each that have different strengths and weaknesses. So the first thing to do is define exactly what you're looking for in a pre-workout. With that being said, there's tons of places out there, including Suppz.com. You can read up on different products based on what your goal is. If you're looking for something for pumps or strength and training endurance versus energy and focus, different pre-workouts tend to be stacked in different decks. Then there's the inclusive all-in-one pre-workouts that deliver all of them. But at the end of the day, pre-workouts typically tend to have strengths and weaknesses. So within the energy and focus category, there's a lot of things that have been taken off the market. DMAA, DMHA, AMP citrate, so on and so forth. All these synthetic designer stimulants you can't use anymore. Things that you're going to look for that are going to drive that stim focus. I mean, there are certain elements to me, I'm like, oh wow, because it's really stim heavy. Or things that can be considered stimulants and or things that otherwise increase energy and focus. Caffeine's a big one. If you see things like dynamine or teacrine, which are both from the kucha leaf, as an ingredient are stimulants. If you see Infinity, which is dicaffeine malate. If you see things like yohimbe, raucoline, which is alpha-yohimbe, anything high of those types, or even some of the things like Ariadrensis, which is a little bit gray for some people's, classification, an herbal extract. All these type of things are more along the lines of stims, okay? If you look at things, there's also things that can have a non-stimulatory aid and focus. Things like alpha-GPC, things nootropic-wise, like lion's mane, alpinium galanga, Salacious paniculatus, different things like that. If you look at the nootropic route, where they have aiding in mental cognition improvement without having a stimulatory effect. And once again, this is getting very broad, so I'm trying to bring it back in. Things for strength and power, obviously beta-alanine is a staple. For example, if you want mainly training endurance, then go for a higher dose beta-alanine. Versus, hey, I want a little bit of that, and then a lot of pre-workouts may have like 1.5 grams, 2 grams. Thing keep in your mind for both creatine and beta-alanine when you judge a pre-workout. It doesn't have to have your entire dose of those two things in one sitting. For example's sake, if you're taking, I want 5 grams of creatine monohydrate with this pre-workout only has 2, but you're getting 3 grams elsewhere, say like a post-workout or supplementing, then it's fine. You're still getting your total dosage. So don't make that a make or break. Make a decision based on what you all need for you. Okay, so other things for strength, power, output, there's some key ingredients like Elevate-TP, Pico-2 is an endurance ingredient. Look for things, what's another one? There are things. Peak ATP is very similar to Elevate-TP. There's some brand ingredients out there, and betaine anhydrous that can, or some people say betaine if you want to be fancy. They can help with training, endurance, and recovery, and of course power output. Okay, things along the lines for pumps, things like citrulline is a big one, nitrosougen is another big one, agmatine is come and gone, things other arginine bases are there. There's things for cellular volumization, look like glycerol monostearate, or the branded version of that is Hydromax or Glycer Pump. All these are elements for the pump aspect, make that nasty dry pump. Okay, and last but not least, you may say things that have like some of a thermogenic component. So things like capsaicin, or a really popular one, Acromoma linguata, also known as grains of paradise or paradoxine, is another common one, or alligator pepper. Those kind of all interchangeably are the same thing. Or things like synephrine, or things like bitter orange extract, was this synephrine base, like from the ingredients like kinetic, which used to be called Advantra Z. Hell, even yohimbe can be considered a thermogenic. So, well, it's caffeine. But those are some of the base ingredients you're going to see a lot of these days. In some way, shape, or form, almost every pre-workout out there is going to have at least a few of those things in some combination. So, the key is, when you're picking a pre-workout, focus on what you personally like. If you're not somebody that likes a lot of stimulants, like myself, then I prefer something for pumps, performance, and it's like maybe like a stimulant for nootropic. Like, okay, now I got something. Versus, I don't care, I don't about performance, I just want to be wired. And that's how I'm going to feel when I work out. In that case, then a strong stimulant-based pre-workout might be the best pick for you. And things like pumps, performance, endurance isn't much of a big deal, then hey, look for a stim bomb. Okay, so keep in mind, just because you don't feel a pre-workout in terms of stimulants, lock-in, focus, doesn't mean it's not a good pre-workout. Different needs for different folks for what makes you get the best workout for what you are trying to achieve. This has been a very quick overview of how to kind of go about picking pre-workout. I broke down kind of what are the main components you're going to feel and or look for, some of the basic ingredients, and of course, this opens up discussion. If you have questions on ingredients and pre-workouts or how to pick a proper pre-workout, drop a comment below. That's what the comment section's for. Also, if you have ideas for things you'd like me to cover in terms of how-to guides and or troubleshooting, drop that in comments as well. This has been a quick video from Drew Peters, aka the Vanilla Gorilla with Suppz.com. Until next time, thanks for tuning in for Suppz.com YouTube channel.